Good morning, Brett.
What's up, man?
Candy.
Good to be here.
Madman. Welcome back, Madman in the Morning, guys. Podcast. We're getting ready to make some picks, talking football. What have you done with Zach?
Well, after all this Matt talking,
Uh-oh.
Oh no,
done away with it.
he's not under the table
Remember,
either.
this,
He's not under
this
the
is
table.
wild, remember. Be careful
Yes,
what you
don't
say.
be saying things that can be held against you in the
My
court
name
of
is
law.
Matt. My name is Matt Ball. I work at Raymond.
Oh, cute.
Guys, welcome back. Glad to be here. Madman didn't have a great week last week. Terrible. Now I've got to listen to Brett say that
Uh-oh.
Clemson.
Hey, man, I told y'all. I don't know why nobody would listen to me.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy week. I mean, it was a crazy.
Wow.
There were so many bad calls, and don't get me started on the Cowboy game. But that was a bad call, whether you like the Cowboys or not. Illegal snap, come on. Even the league came out right afterwards and said it was
I
a
don't
bad
think
call.
I've ever heard of it.
It's crazy.
It's,
It's
yeah.
crazy. And,
Wow.
and that's what I'm saying. And that game went to overtime, guys. So it
Wow,
did
we-
cost the Cowboys at least the chance to win. Let's put it that way.
Wild, wild week, college and pro. We are at the Coffee House Cafe in Richlands every Thursday morning at 9 o'clock, recording, getting ready for another big weekend of football. But guys, Purdue,
Upset in Ohio State, huge win.
Oh, Nick. Excuse me. Urban Meyer went down. I'm waiting for Nick to go down next.
We're still
but Urban
wanting
Meyer
that.
is down. What about
Yes.
that? Ohio State loses.
Drops out of the top 10.
Ooh,
It's
I'm
awesome.
glad. I love it.
Central
Love
Florida
it.
jumps up into the top 10.
Yep.
Longest winning streak in the country. Somebody likes Central Florida.
There we go.
Central Florida beat East Carolina over the weekend. And guys, they pulled the ultimate trick on everybody. If you check this game out, Milton didn't play. The starting quarterback at UCF,
Right.
and no one knew it. He even had his helmet on before the game. They huddled up on the sideline,
was that
never told
trickery?
nobody. He had an injury on his shoulder, never told nobody. They lined up when he first kicked off. No one knew, and as they come onto the field, the backup comes out on the field. So
You can't do that in the NFL,
that's
right?
New England hiding right there.
Well, you
I
can. You
I
can.
thought you were supposed
College
to have
you
an
can,
injury
yes.
report and put you on there to let the other teams know for
Well,
fair play.
A couple years ago, I don't think it was last year. It might have been a year or two ago. Ben Roethlisberger kind of done that. He was hurt. He wasn't going to play, but he dressed.
Okay.
And then Landry Jones was starting that game.
But in the NFL, they've got to disclose.
See, that's what I was
questionable
thinking.
probable.
They're supposed to disclose it. Put it that way,
College
right?
can't. College does not
College
have
does
to.
not have
Right,
to,
yes.
right?
And then,
right.
Landry ended up getting hurt in the first quarter. Big Ben stepped in
Yeah.
as the
So that
backup.
was kind of a little,
Yeah.
not really
So-
fair. But on that end, I think it is only fair to say this. That's why you have injury reports. This person can't play because matchup. Right?
Matchup. That's right.
But
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. Hey,
I like it too.
I
Hey,
like
it was the
Hey,
ultimate.
man, you're going to dress and you're going to go out there.
The
You're
hiding
going
trick.
to do
He had his
warm-ups
helmet
and- Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was ready to go, and the
But that
backup
wasn't
rolls in.
illegal in college. So
That's right.
that was good planning.
So UCF 7-0, moving to top 10. Guys, there's another team. I've been watching. Charlie Strong leaves Louisville, goes to Texas. They end up firing him. Goes to South Florida. Guys, he could stay there probably from now on. They're 7-0, and they're doing it every year.
What a turnaround!
They keep rebuilding. They keep loading up every single year. They're 7-0 now. They got a huge revenge spot this week. We're going to talk about that a little later. They got a big revenge spot coming up in that South Florida Houston game a little later. Purdue, of course, blowout win. It couldn't have been any better with the kid on the sidelines.
Yeah.
If y'all watched that game,
That's
it's got the
I
cancer.
did not watch it, but I see plenty of highlights
Oh.
on it because I was like so thirsty to see. I wanted to see how Urban Meyer reacted. That's awful,
Urban
isn't it?
Meyer goes down.
I was tickled. Yes, I
Yeah.
did not expect that to happen, but I'm so glad it did.
So,
There is
two.
hope about Alabama getting beat now. You know.
There is. I read that kid's story on
There's a chance.
Twitter too. And I'm telling you, that kid, he doesn't.
He predicted the game.
Oh yeah, he predicted the game.
That was awesome.
How
I
old is
read.
this kid?
He's had cancer. Been battling cancer for
Oh,
years.
Yeah,
yes,
he's got
I did
the.
hear that
yeah.
story.
I think he has
I
like
did hear
a.
that story. I sure did.
Like I think it's both kids.
They
And,
made him honorary captain.
He,
I know people were very happy for that young
like I
man.
said, I read a story on Twitter. If that doesn't get to you, I don't know what will.
You don't have a heart, do you?
Exactly.
That's right.
Another big game over the weekend. 216 game days. They talked about this because when game day started, you could see off in the distance the Washington State Cougars flag flying in the background. That flag has been to 216 game days. The game day crew's never been to Pullman. This past weekend, they were in Washington State as Oregon come to town. Washington State takes care of business, and I like it. I like Mike Leach. I like that program, and I think they've done big things up there. Washington State might win the
I'm sorry, Texas Tech probably misses them as well.
Oh, I guarantee you they do.
They're saying, Mike, please come back.
The mad scientist. Yeah. So they beat Oregon, got a chance to win the Pac-12. They got Washington left. They'll end up playing Washington in that Pac-12 championship. Washington State, guys,
I like these surprise teams that are coming up, that have never really been there before, that are beating some big names.
I think you look at the Oregon game and the Washington game, I think that was just really Mike Leach out-coached the guy. It was a really good game. I stayed up, watched the whole thing. Was up till 1 o'clock in the morning. But I was really pulling for Oregon. I like Oregon. I like just their people.
He likes the uniform.
Oh,
most people.
Well, they are better than they used to be.
They're a whole lot better than orange, right?
That green.
Well, I mean, I like my orange and white, but Oregon.
Does that have something to do with Tennessee, maybe?
Yeah.
I like Tennessee. That's
There
okay.
you go.
I wear my orange and white.
Big games this week, guys. We got tonight, actually, tonight. Baylor, West Virginia. West Virginia coming off a loss at Iowa State. A week off, regroup, come up with a way to
What's
figure
your
out.
feel on that? As far as, and I think the Heisman kind of out of the question.
That game is not on our sheet today, but I honestly believe Will Greer steps back up. I think that they put him in a position tonight to win. Baylor does not have a bad defense, and they've got a great offense. So you're going to see a lot of points tonight.
And Baylor plays them tough. I mean,
Very
it doesn't
tough.
matter who's good or bad. When those two play, you never know.
We don't condone gambling.
No.
Take the over in this game for sure,
Exactly.
because they will score a lot of points.
I think Greer makes a statement tonight, a big one. 4 or 5 touchdowns.
Oh, I don't really.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, you look at it as
I
last
think
week.
Greer's good. Don't get me wrong. But
You take that loss, you work your butt off all week. You sit in that film
Hard
room.
loss.
Yeah, I mean it was a rough loss.
yes.
You work your butt off all week. You're in that film room, looking at what you've done wrong, so you don't do it again. Yeah. And Greer's
If you
that
can
kind of.
shake it off, sometimes you can either shake it off and
He'll
really go forward.
He'll shake it off.
Sometimes
Greer's that kind of. I think he's that kind of kid, that kind of quarterback.
He
He'll
makes
shake
it.
it off.
I hope he is.
And it's tough on the road at Iowa State. They play
Oh, yeah. I
big.
mean,
that's a Super Bowl when Oklahoma comes to town, West Virginia comes to town, TCU comes to
Gonna be a good
town.
game.
They're always up for those
Exactly.
games. Baylor, it's on the road. It's at West Virginia. Burning couches tonight in West Virginia. They're gonna.
Get the fire trucks ready.
It's gonna be a good game. Purdue, Michigan State's a good one this weekend. Notre Dame and Navy. That could be a tough little game for Navy. Might be a little trap game with some big games coming up here in the next couple of weeks.
Never overlook Navy.
No, because they run the ball at about 350 a game. Click. They don't even throw the ball. They're hard to stop.
They definitely win the time of possession. That's for
Time of possession, and it's not really a long game.
No.
Because of all the running.
sure.
Hey,
That
I
clock
gotta
puts
ask
down
you
pretty
guys,
quick.
can you believe, has there ever been a team that has had 5 overtime games in a season?
I don't know.
Cleveland.
Oh, they're gonna have a bunch.
I mean, it's unreal, but don't you feel
They might go to
sorry
overtime
for,
again
do you
this
feel
week
sorry
with
for their
Pittsburgh.
fans? I mean, they come so close, and the games are like, it could be a win, but it ends up a loss, but it could be a win.
And as
and they go into overtime.
As our absent Zach would say, tie's not a win, right?
Tie is not a win.
It's not a win, but
We
at
don't
the
have
same
the white-
time,
we
I
don't
can't
have the
believe these
whiteboard.
fans are hanging on by the edge of their seat
Yeah.
every time, looking for
Oh, I
wins.
agree.
The
God
one
bless
thing you
those
can
people,
see
really.
though, Cleveland's getting better. Baker Mayfield's gonna make a difference.
Yep.
The defense is getting better. They're going to win some games.
Yep.
They're right there, and that's what that overtime means. Is they're getting so close to winning some ball games. So
I
it's
feel
gonna
sorry
be
for
good.
their fans. I can't help it. I feel
Yeah.
sorry for the Cleveland fans.
I think Todd Haley might be a little bit of a hot seat right
Yeah, and I think they're back and forth at each other's throat right now.
now. Yeah.
Him and the head coach.
Him and you.
And it's some of those coaching decisions at the very last. I'm talking about my Cowboys. I mean, I'm getting a little aggravated with some of
Hey,
the coaching.
y'all picked up a good one this
strategies.
week though. Y'all got them all
Amari Cooper.
There we go.
The Raiders have a fire sale going on
He
right
went
now.
straight to.
It's like a
number one on the
sale.
depth chart.
They got
Who
rid of
wants
Amari
this
Cooper.
one?
They got rid of Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Now, who knows? Derek Carr at the end of the season may be gone.
Well, Dallas was missing a receiver. They really need somebody. We'll see how he fits with the offense.
If he ends up being your number one, can catch the ball and stay healthy, that's
Stay
been his
healthy.
big
Stay
issue.
healthy,
That's
please.
going to be the huge.
Yeah.
Dallas
I
is
know.
going to have a pretty good run the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Guys, last week everything I think you did pretty good, Brett, on some picks.
Yeah,
I didn't
we
do
had a
real good
had a
on
decent
mine.
week. Trying to catch up to you and
You're so
Mayor.
humble.
Trying to catch
I
up.
adjusted that
Pretty good
rearview
week.
mirror and I can see Brett in the distance.
We're getting
way
there.
back there.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
It may take us a little while, but it's how you finish the race, not how you
Exactly.
start it.
Chess.
Not how you
checkers,
start,
right?
it's how you finish.
I didn't do real good, but I did again this week.
Your
I hit
dog.
my dog of the
What
week.
are you now? What,
Miami of
10-1?
Ohio, 10-2 on the dog of the
That's
week.
pretty good.
Miami of Ohio getting 8.5. Lost the game 31-30. Had a chance to win it, but I got my dog of the week, so I
There you
did
go.
hit that again this week.
You did.
I got 2 dogs today.
He picks the dogs right. I'm betting on his dogs.
Take the dogs. They got a chance to win the games. Guys, before we get into making our picks, don't forget about Madman Turned Santa. Big push coming up right now. We're getting close to Christmas time. Madman Turned Santa, if you know a family, they got kids, you want them to have a Merry Christmas, please make sure you get those letters sent in. We do want to try to take care of about 40 kids this year. Madman in the Morning, P.O. Box 625, Cedar Bluff, Virginia 24609. We're also taking donations, so you can send those in as well.
Send what you can. $5, $2. It all adds up, people. If everyone sent $1, just think. Everyone out there listening would send $1. Hey, we'd have a great Christmas for more than 40
Exactly.
families.
Absolutely. And guys, if we can, we'll take care of more than 40 kids. The goal is we want to try to get these kids what they asked for Christmas. But guys, after seeing how these kids responded last year when we went, and you're talking about $5 gifts or a $10 gifts, some of us don't know how lucky we have it, and these kids appreciate it so much. So if you can dig down, pull out $1, $5, $10, doesn't matter. Send it in, Madman in the Morning. We want to try to take care of these kids for Christmas.
And it is better to give than
And
to
to
receive.
receive, that's right. That's why we're giving you our picks, right?
I'm still betting with my heart, people. You might not listen to these guys, but anyway.
Big week coming up. Big week. Washington State off a huge win. I had to start with this one because game day was at town. They tore the goalpost down, rushed the field. Washington State beats Oregon. All of that going through kids' minds. You got to understand, 19, 20-year-old kids, 18-year-old kids, do they get up for the game coming up on the road playing at Stanford, and Stanford's favored by 4.5? This is a tricky spot for Washington State with the rest of this Big 12 coming up afterwards, and Stanford's a good football. David Shaw's a good coach, and they got a good football team.
I'll start off.
Go ahead,
I
yeah.
think Stanford. I think it's Stanford. I just feel like it's going the stronger mojo thing going for them. I think that plays a big effect. I know that Washington State's very good and they're doing well also. But I'm going to go with Stanford. It's only, 4.5 point spread.
Well, I'm gonna agree with you. It's only 4.5 points. Stanford's got the momentum in this one. Momentum in football means a lot.
Yes.
So I feel like this one's kind of a little bit of a no-brainer. So I'm gonna go with Stanford.
I agree with you about one thing. Stanford's got a great football team. David Shaw runs the ball, tries to get out of town with a 6-3, 17-14, somewhere in that neighborhood win. They always play that way. They never play to get ahead. They can't play from behind because it's hard for them to score with the offense they run.
Right.
The difference last year, year before versus this year, Washington State has got a defense. They got a defensive line. They know how to stop people. Their weakness is in the backfield, defensive backfield. I think they stop Stanford from running the football, force them to throw the ball, force them to throw it to win it. I'm taking Washington State. I think they get the game day crew behind them, go on the road. I think this is Mike Leach's year. I really believe that Washington State wins this game outright and continues that Pac-12 run.
Well, I will say I'm still going to pick Stanford. Of course, I still feel Stanford will win it. But Mike Leach, with his coaching ability and his smarts about
Mad
making those big
Mad
decisions
scientist.
for the end of the game,
He
it
is.
could come down to the end of the game.
And I think it can. I don't think it's a blowout by no means. I think it's that who has the ball last late in that fourth quarter gets a chance to win the
Right,
ball.
but I think that's what made me 4.5. I think
Yeah.
that spread will probably with Stanford,
Oh, I
but
agree.
we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, it could be either way.
It'll be a good game. That's going to be a real
It'll
good
probably be one of the better games throughout the week.
biggest cocktail party every year. Georgia and Florida down in Jacksonville. And this is another one that's at SEC battle. This right here may determine this side of that SEC with
I
Georgia
agree.
already got a loss.
Right.
LSU's got a loss. If Florida finds a way to win this ball game, it could make that SEC interesting.
It definitely would.
And who's going to beat Alabama? I just don't know.
See, that's just it. I mean, I still think that Georgia could beat them. I still think that
I think LSU.
I
has
think
a shot
LSU
to do
can
it.
LSU
They
definitely.
play 'em next week.
Oh, look at LSU has surpassed everybody. Burrows. I mean, he's a great quarterback.
Yeah, and they're
Has
getting
an
the
arm.
job done.
Yeah.
Guys, I'll start with this one. I believe that Florida has finally found a way to put some points on the board. A couple weeks ago against Vanderbilt, looked like that offense clicked a little bit better. They're still not no scoring machine, but when it comes to playing Georgia, defense, couple touchdowns, 17-14, 21-14 as your ball game. I think that Georgia may win the game, but I like the 8.5 points, and I think Florida keeps it close and loses maybe by a field goal.
Right. I'm with you. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. It's going to be a low game. It's not going to be a full touchdown game. I think you're going to be a 3-point game. I mean, I'm with Frank on this one. I like Georgia. Yeah, I'm a big Jake Fromm guy.
Great.
But I think Florida takes, and with that 8.5, they pull it out. But Jake Fromm, I mean, he had a little bit of a rough week,
He did.
but that
But
kid.
he's gonna bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, he is just a sophomore. I mean, and last year when he got the nod to start, it was. I mean, I don't necessarily think he was necessarily ready to start. When Jacob Eason went down,
Right.
you just get thrown in there, and he made
And
the
he
best.
was literally thrown in there.
Yeah,
the
and he
last
made
season.
it. I mean, also he made
They
the best.
picked him
out
up.
of
They actually picked him up.
But I know they're
Really
glad
nice.
that they did.
Oh, yeah,
I
oh,
mean,
yeah.
he's awesome,
He's,
and I like to
he's
watch
turned
the
out
kid.
to be a.
And what was that
phenomenal
first game he
quarterback.
played was it Notre Dame, wasn't it?
I
On the
think it
road
was.
at Notre Dame, and they
I
won
think
the
it
I
game.
think
Was
it
the first game he
was Notre
started?
Dame. It was. They
Something
put
like
him
that.
in the game. Huh?
So
And,
yeah, he's done a great job.
He's done a great job. Jake Fromm, I mean, I think he's one that before his time in Georgia is over with, he will have a national title. He'll have
Yeah, I hope
before
he
his
does.
time's over with.
Yeah. Especially if Tennessee's not in there. I mean,
Yeah,
I mean
especially if
the
Tennessee's not
SEC,
in
and
there.
normally I don't like.
Well, you don't have to worry about that.
I know. I mean, hey, they've won a couple games. They've won a couple games. Okay, guys,
Hey,
I'm
we
going
beat
to
all
go
of them.
against both of you. I think that Georgia is going to cut the spread. 8.5 points. That's 2 scores basically. I feel like Jake Fromm is going to have a wonderful game, and I think that Georgia's going to pull it off with 8.5 points spread.
She's on the dogs.
That's my dog of the week.
Georgia Bulldogs. There you go. Kentucky, Missouri. I don't know about this one. I like it. The reason it's on here is I just think these two teams will score, who knows, 100 points in this ball game. Missouri has no defense. Kentucky has a pretty good run defense, but no pass defense. This Drew Lock kid from Missouri can throw the lights out of the ball.
Oh yeah. This kid.
And this Snell kid for Kentucky is going to run all over
Oh, yeah.
Missouri. So
It can go either way.
high
Should we
scoring
flip
ball
a
game.
coin?
And honestly,
High scoring
I think
game.
that's what you got to do. Just flip a coin wherever it lands on.
Yeah.
So,
But what do you think about this one?
I like Missouri. I think Locke is going to sit back there and just have a field day. I mean, I do. I think. Well, I mean, I like what Frank's saying. He can throw the lights out. I
He
mean,
can.
this kid has an arm. He's probably the most accurate quarterback in the SEC right now,
Oh yeah.
and he's
He's just going to get better.
yeah, he's going to get better as it goes. And just watch. I mean, I've watched Missouri play a few times this year, and he's fun to watch. I mean, he really is. He's fun
We
to
have a
watch.
lot of fun quarterbacks this year to watch. I mean, I've really enjoyed watching a lot of these younger guys, and they're very talented.
Yes.
You don't get that every season. I'm going to go against you, though. I'm going to
Oh my gosh.
And I'll tell you why. And I'm like y'all. You'll flip a coin here. But I really like Kentucky still. The Wildcats, you know, they were doing so well before that loss, and I just feel like now they need a boost, obviously. But I think that they can do it in this game. So I'm going with the Wildcats.
I agree with Denise, with Candy. I think Kentucky. Well, Stoops has done a great job.
Right.
I think Kentucky will get that one stop that they need to get the ball back to win it.
Right.
So what it turns into maybe one of them 45 to 40 games or something. They get that one stop needed late in the game, get the ball back. Kentucky, I want to see Kentucky win. They've been a doormat in the SEC forever.
Yes, they have. Always good in basketball, but this year football.
Yeah. And I, you know, to see that team come to the top and have an opportunity in these games, played a great game with Texas A&M. We know that it was close.
Right.
I would love to see Kentucky win the game. I'm taking them plus the 8.5, hoping that they pull off the upset and win the game outright.
I like it.
And here's his favorite pick from last week.
Hey guys, hey, Clemson and Florida State. Clemson is giving up, let's see here, 15.5. But I'm still taking Clemson.
You know.
Clemson again. See?
Clemson again.
He's the only
You're
reason
on a
he's
roll
taking.
with Clemson.
Well, he's taking them because they're orange.
Well,
That's
I
a good-
have to have a orange and white team that can win.
That's right. There you go.
As
Do you
of right
think
now,
they'll be the top four, though? Do you really think that they can be in that top four playoff picture so far?
I'm not sold. I know
I'm not sold yet either. That's what
I'm
I'm saying.
not.
I wouldn't mind to see it because I don't think Virginia Tech obviously is not going to be in the top four with their
I
losses.
don't think so.
You know, they've had 2 losses, so I don't see that happening. So just on the ACC as a whole, I'm trying to think, who do you think could represent the ACC?
I think Clemson's
Clemson
the
would be
best
the
choice.
one if the ACC gets in the top 4. But I don't know. It's still, like you said, 15.5 point, and that's pretty tough. Florida State is actually getting a little bit together. They're definitely not together, but they're doing better than they were. I think maybe they're clicking a little. So I think they will cover because they don't like each other at all. Once again, it's that passion that's driving you. So I think that they can win without the 15.5 spread. They'll
Well,
probably lose, but I think that they'll cover the spread.
We've seen Florida State really struggle this year,
Yes.
especially
They
against
have, yeah.
especially against the bigger programs.
They've crumbled, actually.
Francois has took a beating every
Oh,
week
bless his heart, he
against
has.
the.
I'm surprised he's still ticking. You know, I mean,
what-
really.
you-
I'm gonna wrap him up.
Yeah,
Nice
and-
bandages
He
this
has
weekend.
to be so sore from game to
Oh,
game.
yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
you know, he's probably black and blue under that uniform. I feel sorry for the kid. I feel sorry for any kid that
But
puts up with that.
I think you're going to see Florida State struggle again. Francois is going to have another rough day.
Lights out.
Yeah, Clemson's just. I mean, I think they're just. I mean, they're a really good football program. Are they a top 4 program right now? I don't really know yet. We've seen greatness, and we've seen kind of iffy. Florida State is just, I think, way off, and I think that's where this 15.5.
And they'll cover. Okay.
No, I don't think that.
I mean, you don't think they will
No,
cover, right?
2 years.
Clemson's one of
He's got
They're
Clemson
down.
going out. So you heard it here first. I may be crazy for what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh. Let's listen.
2 years in a row, Clemson, they lose to Pitt
Yeah.
on a field goal late 2 years ago. Last year, they go on the road. They play Syracuse in the Dome, lose a quarterback, get beat in that game.
right.
They're not that great. This week, I think this is where Clemson stubs that toe again. Doesn't play well, finds a way to give it away.
That would be giving it away.
It's not my dog of the week, but I'm taking Florida State
You're actually to win?
to win the game.
Cover the spread and win?
To win the game.
Wow.
And the only reason
You're
I
going
say
out
that
on a
is
limb here.
Clemson finds a way the last 2 years to give a game away.
Right.
To just a team that's playing terrible.
Right.
Pitt didn't have no business beating them. Syracuse had no business beating them. I think this is the game set in between a couple weeks of tough games coming up for Clemson. This game right here, that's the one they stubbed their toe on.
And that's your dog, huh?
On the road at Florida State. Willie Taggart probably on the hot seat, I would guess.
Even though it's his
But
first year. I mean, I think they should give him some time. But
Florida State's got some
they won't
talent.
wait. Florida
They've
State
got a
does have
quarterback.
talent.
They've got
They
a
do.
running back. They've
They
got
do.
some
They
defense.
obviously no offensive line.
No, they haven't played well, but I think this week you watch Florida State shows up, plays the best game of the year. It's their Super Bowl. They know they're not in the hunt for the ACC
Nothing to
title.
lose.
Nothing to lose. Florida State shows up this week,
I hope
plays
you're
ball,
right.
and if they don't win it, they at least cover.
My son would love to hear you say that. He's a big Florida State fan.
I may be
I think
crazy.
he's totally given up.
I may be reaching after last week's performance because I was bad last week.
But you're
So
going out
I
on
may be
limb.
bad again.
You're taking some chances there,
Yeah.
Madman.
So, NC State, tough loss last week
Right.
against Clemson, get blown out. Finley kid, this kid's good. I mean, I like it. Their defense is good.
Right.
This Finley kid at quarterback, he's a good quarterback. On the road, playing at Syracuse. Here we go again, back up in the dome. But I like Syracuse. I just think Syracuse is a better football team.
I do too. I think Syracuse is definitely a lot better football team. And when you're playing in the dome, you know that atmosphere is just it's wild.
It is
And,
wild. I have to agree.
I think Mayor pointed out earlier a couple weeks ago that anytime you go to Syracuse, when Tech went up there and played, it's just
Got blown out. Oh, yeah.
A lot of-
West Virginia got blown out. Oh,
Well,
yeah.
a lot of these teams do have a bigger home field advantage. It seems like there's
It does.
something, there's some kind of ambiance. I don't know what it
Well,
is,
it's like
but
when
I
you go
agree
to
with you on
Syracuse.
that.
It's like when you go to Syracuse. The home field advantage there is huge. When you go to Blacksburg and play Tech, that place is always loud. It's rocking.
Except when they play Old Dominion.
That happens.
Here we go.
I'm just saying
happens.
it can
Just had-
happen. I just had to point that out.
Luckily, that one happened
Back to
at
back.
Old Dominion. So. Me not being a
But
Tech.
it usually is rocking.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
right.
I'm
Sandman.
Exactly. I mean, I've been to a couple Tech games in the last few years, and I mean that place is it's always wild.
Oh, I love to go to the stadium. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it is.
really is. I just try not to get ran over, but it is a lot of
That's
fun.
right.
A lot of fun. Well, that said, I still think North Carolina State will win, and I'll tell you why. Because
Oh,
they're
my gosh.
also the team that they have nothing to lose, really. And they're the team that can beat some of the big teams. They've done it before. When Florida State won the championship, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure maybe
NC State.
they actually beat Florida State that year, did they not?
They've got it, and yeah,
So they
and,
can do it.
and they've got a great team. Like I said, Finley, the defense is great. Finley's a good ball player. It's just so tough to play with that ball. It's tough.
I
really
agree,
is.
but I'm looking for this as an upset.
She's pulled the upset.
This is
NC
my
State,
upset.
the Wolfpack.
The Wolves will be out.
Brett has had to step away from the set for just a minute.
He's getting
trying
another
to
call
help.
from Tennessee.
Yeah, they're trying to figure out a way to win.
Oh. Well, he's very
So,
important. So that's okay.
That's right. So while he's away, we're going to talk about this guy's a huge revenge spot. Last year, in this game, South Florida gave up a 4th and 29.
Right.
Ended up losing the game to Houston. Charlie Strong, I'm sure South Florida circled it when it happened. It's back this
Revenge
year.
is so sweet.
Revenge spot. These kids, the sophomores, juniors, seniors, these kids know about this game. They were in this game, circled it when the calendar come out. I like South Florida, and I'll tell you what, Houston's a great football team. They score a ton of points. South Florida shuts them down, wins the game outright. They do get revenge this week.
I'm going to agree with you, man. I think that they are for real. I think, good coaching, good team. I think South Florida's going to pull it out.
And they're
I really
7-0.
do. 7-0.
Yeah.
I think Houston's, 6-1, something like that.
Yeah.
But I really believe that it's the year for South Florida.
I-
They are the Florida team, like we've talked about before.
Yeah, them and
Miami,
UCF,
yeah.
South Florida and UCF, both undefeated. And those two,
Well, both of
UCF,
those teams are great. They are.
they have got a run right now of wins.
And they were always at the bottom. It's always been Florida Gators or Miami Hurricanes, but now you have these two that they pretty much.
I'm back.
Did you talk to the coach at Tennessee?
Yeah.
Everything's good in Orange
Yeah.
Country.
I don't know about everything's good, but hey, we're
As
all
much
right.
as can be
That's right.
expected.
I mean, when you're got a losing record and
They were trying to get Derek Carr. Go figure.
hey, anything will help.
Anything.
That's right.
Anything for our
Well, I had
Oregon
to feel
life.
So since you are back, we're going to get your opinion on this South Florida Houston game. So Houston's favored by 7.5. We was talking about this revenge spot from last year, but what do you
Which I was
think on this?
surprised about that 7.5, but anyway.
Yeah, I am too. I figured the game would be probably a 3-point, 4-point game, but
2.5,
yeah.
I mean, I like South Florida. I think as we were talking earlier, I think they're undefeated right now, and
They
just
are.
how well they've played all year. I think South Florida is. I think they're rocking right now, and Charlie Strong is found a place to
He's found a place to get
found him a
relax a
place.
little
Yeah.
bit,
under the
and
radar,
and
keep my job, win 9 games a
Exactly.
year.
You must be feeling really
Exactly.
good after all this been through, don't
Well,
you think?
I mean,
You must be feeling really
so
comfortable.
when you're at Louisville, they expect they want you to win a ton of games.
It was just like
And
Florida
he did-
State.
he-
They're not going to give you more than a year usually, do they? I
He
mean,
put Louisville back on the map,
He did.
and then the thing that blows my mind, a lot of these coaches, they win some games out of Louisville or South Florida or Houston, and then they jump ship to try to take this big job. When it's Texas, when it's Texas Tech,
Exactly.
when it's Michigan, when it's Ohio
Yeah,
State,
exactly.
those expectations are so
So
high.
much higher.
it's a different
You
league.
lose your job in 2 years if you don't win now.
Oh yeah,
It's a
It's
different league.
and the thing about it, going to like a smaller school like, like South Florida, there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. I mean, here you are, you're sitting at 7, you win 9 to 10 games a year.
Stay there forever.
Hey,
You're
listen, I
there.
want to be comfortable. And you know the pay's still good. I mean, it may not
Oh,
be
yeah.
Florida
That's right.
State, but
That's
It may not be what he was making at Texas, but
that he can sleep at night.
oh yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And he's got to win a football team. So,
That's right.
And
so
you don't
we-
have to worry about an athletic director calling, man, you got to win these games. You
We
gotta
got
win these
South
games."
I
Florida.
can't imagine the pressure.
yeah,
Some
a
of
lot
these
less,
guys.
lot
I
less
mean, they
pressure.
must have ulcers like that
Yeah.
forever. You know.
So, okay, that's our college. So going into pro, a couple good games in pros this week. Cleveland's going to Pittsburgh. It's not on here, but that'll be a good one.
You think it's
Yeah.
overtime?
Pittsburgh's
Pittsburgh's had
Another
overtime.
overtime again this week.
Uh-huh.
So, but we do have the Jets and the Bears. I tell you, the Bears, they're just. It's like they win a game 31-20, and then they lose one 43-40. It blows my mind that the Bears,
Up and down.
the way they played, and had an opportunity to beat New England
Oh, yeah,
last week.
definitely.
Yeah.
Get a block punt and return kickoff, beats them.
But it wasn't the talent that didn't
No,
win the game.
they-
It was just those things that can happen in football
They
games.
happened. They got a block punt and they gave up a kickoff return. Jets at home. Bears are at home. Jets getting 8.5. I like the Jets. I think the Bears are still a little soft in areas.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think
Don't tell
Darnold will
Khalil
find a
Mack
way.
that.
Not in that area.
Not in that area.
They're not soft there.
They're definitely
But-
not. As a matter of fact, that looks pretty hard right there with
think
Khalil Mack.
I think the Jets are playing pretty good ball right now too. But you're right, Khalil Mack.
Awesome. He's
Yeah.
just,
There- One thing you won't do is run it in that area.
Yeah, you
you will
You will
avoid
run
him at
the
all costs.
opposite way.
It's too bad they can't have two of those on each side. You know, they would win all the games.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh tried that once upon a time. We had James Harrison on one side and Lamar Woodley on the other. And it worked out pretty good for a while, and then one of them wanted more money. And
Uh-oh.
yeah.
Greedy, goodness.
kind of something like we're running to right now. We got a running back that just wants a ton of money.
There's always that one on every team, right?
It is, there is. I mean, it happens. But I like the Jets too. I mean, I'm with Frank. I think the Bears are they've got a couple areas that they need to work at. I think offensive line's one of them. They got to work on the offensive
Oh, yeah.
line a little bit.
Trubisky's up there.
Yeah,
And I think that's their problem, though. It is Trubisky.
He'll
I
throw
mean,
5
he is
TDs,
the leader.
4 picks.
Yeah.
exactly.
But I still think Trubisky's good.
That's kind of like, there's another guy that played for the Bears here a couple years ago that did that.
And is he in Miami, maybe?
Yes, as a matter of fact, he is, Jay Cutler.
I knew exactly who you were talking about.
Yeah.
But I think the Bears maybe towards the end of this year, I think you'll see them turning around,
I do too.
winning 3 or 4 games at
There's
the end of the
talent.
season. Oh yeah, they definitely have the talent. But I think right now it's a little early. But I think the Jets pull out the win.
Well, I'm going to disagree once again, but I think they're a work in progress.
They are.
As my mom always says, a work in progress. And I think that they are getting there, like you said, but I think it's going to happen, not necessarily this year, but I think that they're going to beat the Jets. I think they're going to pull it out.
Kansas City, 7-1. I think 6-1, 7-1. Kansas City, Denver again. They just played them a couple weeks ago at Denver. Now this game's to Kansas City.
Who beat Kansas City? I know they lost one game,
They
but
lost to New England,
oh,
43-40.
I shouldn't even mention it. Okay.
Yeah, it was
I tried to
terrible.
block that
And
out.
Kansas
That's
City,
what it was. I
Kansas
blocked
City
it out.
had a chance to win that game too.
Oh,
and
yeah.
lost it
I
late.
blocked that one out. Shoot.
I think these two teams know each other real well. Denver got a taste of Mahomes early, so they kind of know what to expect now. I think 10 points is a lot of points in the AFC West. In a division where you're playing the same team the second time of the year, it's hard to beat a team twice in the same season. I don't think they cover the 10. I'm not saying Kansas City doesn't win this ball game, but 10 points is a lot of points to be given, no matter where they play, because it's in a division. So I kind of like Denver in this game.
I'm with you. I think Pat Mahomes has surprised everybody this year. I mean, he has been lights out all year. 10.5 is a lot. He is.
Very good.
10.5 is a lot of points, and just, mainly just in this game particularly. Does Kansas City win? I think so, but I think Denver. I think they'll be okay. So,
Okay.
yeah, I think they'll be fine.
Well, you know, I went back and forth with that. I think Kansas City definitely will win
Either
the game.
we're going to win a lot of games, or
And
she's
I'm
going
going
to
to
win
win a lot of games,
games.
and that's how it's been today, which I'm used to this, okay? But seriously, I think Mahomes is very good. And even though they know how good he is now, I think he goes in there and leads the team, and they win bigger than 10.5 points.
There you go. Heard it here first.
Oh my gosh. That is wow.
Next, I'll let one of you guys start with this one, but the Rams playing Green Bay. Rams only undefeated team left.
Undefeated. I will take this. Okay. I don't like the Green Bay Packers, obviously,
Me
since I'm a
either.
Cowboy fan especially. But, hey, listen, I mean, they've got a great quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, what can you say? He's staying healthier than I thought he would. I think when he started out the season, I thought, I
Still
don't know
got
if
a
this
bone.
guy is going to.
Don't move a whole lot because he's still got that bone knee.
He does, but I was kind of thinking he may be out, seriously,
Mhm.
because of that. But he's managed to stay in there. But I'm going to tell you, I think the Rams are going to win this game, and I think the Rams are going to make Green Bay not look so good. So I'm going to take the Rams.
I like it. I think you'll still have an undefeated team at the end of that one. I think Rams win, just go in there and take care of business. Aaron Rodgers having that bone knee is going to slow him down a little bit, unless they give him something they did a couple weeks ago when he first hurt it. Then that'll.
That interview was great.
That
Dave.
interview was still the best interview. It's probably the best interview I've seen all year. That guy was just out of this world. But anyway,
We don't condone drug
What
use
No,
world was
no.
he in?
or gambling.
What
nobody
world?
knows what he was
Oh,
on.
yeah. You know, that
Except
happens
for
a lot,
the
guys.
trainer.
Football.
I say he probably doesn't even know what he was on.
Well, you know, they take them in there and give them something that makes them pop right up. I don't
Now
see
they
how
now they can do it
do
on the
that.
sidelines because they got a tent to put
Oh, yeah,
in.
they-
Oh, the tent.
Walking in that tent.
And no one knows
There you go.
what goes on in that tent stays in that
Well,
tent.
goes
Right,
on
kinda
the
like
tent, stays
Vegas.
in the tent.
We
Exactly.
don't condone drug use or gambling on this
No.
show.
But I think the Rams stay undefeated and take care of Green Bay, win by more than 4.5. So,
As someone says on game day, not so fast, my friend.
oh my gosh.
Out on a limb we
Fast,
go
my
again.
friend.
I like the Rams. They got a great team. Jared Goff's doing the lights out. These guys, Todd Gurley, probably one of the best in the league. The receivers all over the place.
No, he's not girly.
And youngest coach in the NFL. They find a way to put 30, 40 points on the
Oh, yeah.
on the board.
They're
every
for
year.
real.
They are for real.
Rams are for real.
I think this week, you heard it here first.
Oh gosh.
They stubbed their toe. First loss.
This is the dog.
No. This ain't the dog of the week. But it is another dog, guys.
That would be a dog.
Green Bay pulls the upset. Shows up, plays defense. Aaron Rodgers has a little shot in the knee, as we talked about. Gets the feeling good before the game, throws him a couple touchdown passes. Green Bay wins this game outright as a 10-point dog. I like the Packers.
I am surprised, man.
Really
Very
shocked.
thin limb I'm walking on
Really
this week.
I think I'm going to be winning this week.
Okay, last one. Brett, what we got?
Pats and Buffalo.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
So I feel like this one's kind of a no-brainer. This Buffalo has been terrible. I guess that's the best word to say this year.
You're being nice.
Yeah, that's me being nice. they've never got anything together. They signed Derek Anderson. They make him the starter the day they sign him. So how does Nate Peterman feel about that? I mean, when you're throwing 5 picks, I guess it really don't matter. So
Are they looking already for the draft pick? Or
Probably.
they've already
probably,
decided to, go off of the
I
gridiron?
mean, New England's giving up 14.5, but I don't think that's.
It's 14 and a half. That's nothing for them.
Yeah, I mean.
They do have that guy named Brady.
Yeah, that's.
Whether you
and
like him or not.
As much as I don't like Tom Brady, you do have to respect what he has done in the NFL.
You have to. He
The
is
amount of
one of the
rings
top
that he's got.
quarterbacks.
That 14.5, he'll have that taken care of before half of
He
the
can
first
do that
quarter.
in 2 minutes.
Yeah, so New England takes care of business. They win by definitely a lot more than 14.
I see something in Madman's eyes here.
I'm just listening.
I've been waiting on the dog.
This is it.
But I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say the Pats clear the 14 and a half easily.
No, this is not my dog of the week.
I want to know where the dog
Okay,
is.
hey, but I will say this.
Who's the dog?
Buffalo Mafia this weekend.
Uh-oh.
So, New England has squeaked by 2 weeks in a row against Kansas City
But they play good
and
teams.
against Chicago. They play good football teams. But if you remember a few weeks ago, Buffalo was a dog against Minnesota. They were getting 11.5 points, going on the road, playing at Minnesota. Everyone said Buffalo didn't have a chance of winning this ball game. There's no way. Minnesota's going to kill them. Minnesota sit 3 starters in that game. Sit them, all of them healthy. We're just not going to play.
Yeah.
3 starters.
That was a very bad coaching decision.
Very bad decision. Buffalo went into Minnesota and won the game outright.
And look at Minnesota now.
New England goes down this week.
Oh my God.
He is. I know you don't like.
I don't like Buffalo either.
Thinking.
Okay.
You may be right. I may be right. Is that a
Buffalo,
song? You may be
Buffalo
right, I may be
at
wrong?
home,
I think
getting the
it's a song.
points. I think Buffalo's a winner. I think Buffalo finds a way to play defense like they did against Minnesota. I think they find a way to get a turnover or 2. Instead of flipping that role, New England's got a turnover scored against Chicago, run a punt back, run a kickoff back. I think those roles switch this week. Buffalo gets a turnover, finds a way to win finally
Right.
and beat Tom Brady.
Well, with Derek Anderson coming in,
And no, it's not my dog of the week.
with Derek Anderson coming in, you've got that veteran.
He's got a week under his belt.
You know, he's obviously a veteran. He's not really going to do anything dumb against Minnesota with the ball. He's not going to.
He's a Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much.
He'll take care of the ball,
He's going to
move
take care
the
of the ball.
ball methodically down the field.
Yep. You're
You
not
can't
going
try
to see anything really flashy.
Nope.
You're going to see if it's 5 yards, it's 5 yards. If it's 10, it's 10. If it's 2, it's, hey, we're moving the ball. So,
And the way you beat New England is not let Tom Brady on the field. So
That
if
is
you
true.
take a 9-minute drive, score a touchdown,
No, that is true.
they find a way. They know what they got to do. It's just a matter of execution.
Yeah.
So
And-
I like Buffalo.
I still
Well,
think
they
that.
are rivals.
I still think that 14.5. I still think Tom Brady will eat through
Yeah.
that.
I have to agree with you, Brad.
Guys, again, don't forget about Madman Turn Santa. I know we talked about it earlier. Get those letters sent in. Get the donations sent in. We want to take care of these kids. It's getting close. October is almost over. We're getting into November. Almost Thanksgiving.
We're getting it. You may as well say November's here.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, it's Thanksgiving, and then it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, that's right. So we want to take care of these kids. Now it's time for the dog of the week.
Oh, now we can finally.
I've been on the edge of my seat.
And then this week, guys, we got 2 dogs. I've been looking back and forth, watching these games, paying attention, trying to do a little research. I dug deep this week. So one, Western Michigan, they're 6-2 playing Toledo. They're giving Toledo 7.5. Toledo's lost 2 weeks in a row, blown out once, close game in the other one they lost. They made a huge comeback 2 weeks ago against Eastern Michigan. They was down 28-3, ended up losing that game 35-32 in a close ball game. Last week they got blown out. They're playing Western Michigan this week. Western Michigan, I watched them early this year against Syracuse. Syracuse scored all they wanted to on them. They give up a ton of points. Toledo was picked to win this conference, they've struggled against some tough teams.
Right.
Now they're back in the MAC. The teams know each other. Toledo scores a ton of points. Toledo plus 7.5 this week's a dog. I think they can win the game outright. But I got another dog.
He's really
this
letting the
week.
dogs out.
We're letting the dogs out. Another one, Appalachia State, blowing people out, killing people.
Finally ranked in the top 25.
Finally
They
ranked in the
are.
top 25.
That's right. That's unreal.
Now, they got kept it close with Penn State, won some games, put 70 on the board, blowing people out. Now they're in the top 25. Heads a little bigger. Like
Getting a lot
kids,
bigger.
those kids, the heads get a little big. They're playing a team this week that, unfortunately, App State will give no respect to. But this team is 6-1.
They are.
Georgia Southern is 6-1. They run the ball 246 yards a game. App State, any team that rushes for over 200 yards a game, App State's 1-8 against. It takes the quarterback off the field. We know how that works. This team does not throw the football. They run it all night long. Georgia Southern is getting 11.5. Both of these games are tonight, guys. Both of my dogs tonight.
Wait.
Georgia Southern getting 11.5 against App State. I think Georgia Southern might have a chance late in this ball game to pull the outright upset. But I think they cover the 11.5. That's the two dogs this week.
I like it. I mean, Georgia Southern, they're a heck of a football program.
You know, I'm the same way. I think that Georgia Southern is pretty darn good.
They are. They're a real good football team. They run the ball. They got good coaching.
They better not overlook them.
And that's the only reason I think Georgia Southern's a winner. I'm like you. I think App State overlooks those guys because Arkansas State, App State, those are the guys always ruling this conference, and they look past that little guy to get to the next one. This is that little guy that's 6-1. The only team they've lost to, Clemson.
Y'all have heard the story about Goliath and David, right?
That's why I'm taking the Buffalo Bills.
Oh my gosh.
I'm bringing out both guns this week.
I think you're going to need them for that one. Right?
Yeah, that's right.
There's always hope, people.
Exactly. So, guys, that's the show, and we are at the Coffee House Cafe. Coffee House
My
Cafe.
stomach's growling. Looks like some good menus. Some good stuff on that menu.
They got good food.
There we go.
Guys, stop by here at the Coffee House Cafe, have your cup of coffee. Come by on Thursdays. We're here. Madman and the gang.
We've had a few wonderful fans out there. Thank you.
The mayor will be back next week.
Maybe.
He's out searching for wins for somebody. We don't know who, but
Virginia Tech.
he's doing a little dig, maybe for Virginia Tech. Or maybe Brett's tied him up, put him in a closet somewhere for all the trash and stuff. Who knows?
Maybe.
I'm beginning to wonder. after
Brett's
you
not
said
told us
earlier.
the full story yet
We'll just
about
have to
where
see.
the mayor is at.
He may be here next week. He may not.
Oh,
Hey,
here
but
we
the
go.
mayor is missing. That's not good.
The mayor's missing.
Remember, guys, also go check our buddies out at Coalfield Sports. Eugene, Hilton, Brady Hess, Mayers over there with them as well. Ron Dye. Go there, check them out on Twitter. Southwest Virginia football, just both a bunch of local guys,
Good
live and
football
breathe
games.
high school football. So go
And
check
it-
them out on Twitter. They're posting something just about every day. Go look at those guys. You'll really enjoy the reads. They're kind of like us. Just want to talk about football.
And they are high school football all the time.
Exciting.
Exactly.
High school football is so exciting.
I mean,
These kids play because they love the game.
look where we're at. We're in Southwest Virginia, where everybody lives and breathes high school football Friday night.
That's a fact.
And they have done a really good job covering it. I mean, I think they've made a huge presence in doing it. They've done a really good job. Those guys, like I said, they're just awesome. They've done big
They
things
to keep
with it.
up with.
Yeah, they're definitely fun to keep up with.
Yeah, if you want to know anything about high school football, CoalfieldSports.com. We want to wish all of our local high school teams a injury-free weekend
Yes.
this weekend. And guys, enjoy the games. High school, college, and pro.
This time of year, it's lovely.
We're out.